Good morning. I'm walking the cat in a blueberry patch in Richmond. This is what my life's been like for the last weeks. Just exploring, just on an adventure. My whole life's been an adventure. I don't really get caught up in any kind of routine these days. It's funny. I broke a habit, an addictive behavior to distract from myself because I didn't know how to connect back to myself. And now all I do is connect to myself and the world around me by breaking that habit. And you don't have to be a drug addict to be in that situation of disconnection. That's very, very normal and common these days, to be disconnected from ourselves. We just don't have a language of how to communicate about that and how to begin to process what has us disconnected from ourselves in the first place. And for myself included, that's what it was. I didn't have a language. So it's difficult when you want to heal or you want to try and talk to yourself or someone else about what's going on because you've avoided it for so long. And you know what? That's okay. It's okay to be in that situation. But what's not okay is to be using these tools, these social media tools, as a form of distraction to understand yourself and to be able to actually connect back to yourself, because these social media tools are they're an addiction. Let's be real. That's what it is. And the more I'm disconnected from this platform, the better I feel. Not that I ever have any sort of reason to disconnect from myself or use this tool as a place to avoid for myself. It just doesn't serve a function to me. I mean, I love throwing up reels. I love doing lives. I love to be able to share a piece of my heart. But the time in between those things, I don't even touch my phone. I use my phone for work, but I don't use my phone for social media. I'm really bad at checking messages because it means I have to go on social media. Although I do check the messages because I love when people reach out to me and they share about what's going on in their life. So I most certainly do that. But the reality of the situation is these tools have become mechanisms of a place for us to become entertained. And entertainment has just become a factor for us to avoid connecting with ourselves and learning how to love ourselves. And I just want to bring an awareness to that because life is incredible. I know it seems difficult right now in so many different areas, but that's just the perception you have of reality. I live in the same reality as everyone else. There's lots going on around me. But rather than get caught up in the field of negativity and having that awareness and that perspective, I see the negative, of course, but I also, that just allows me to see the positive as well. And I'm so grateful for that, to be able to appreciate negatives so that I can understand and learn how to find a positive within it. That's what I do with my life, with the world, with people. And it's just a matter of awareness, to what you want to do here. What is all of this for you? If it seems so difficult and, so many people say the struggle is real and you feel that entertaining yourself with these, platforms is a way that you're just going to get through life, I feel for you. I used to do that with drugs. Right? And man, life was so difficult. So I know that. I know what that's like to just want to distract and avoid reality altogether. But it's just a misconception of how to break through that. We think that it's going to be so much more than what it is. A lot of people believe the journey within is just something that isn't for them or is just too much work. And, anything that you practice in the beginning, of course, is difficult. But when you're working on yourself, the rewards and the results are priceless. Yes, traversing trauma is difficult. But when you start peeling back layers, you're going to find belief systems. And when you start finding belief systems, you're going to figure out where self-worth and value was disrupted from the beginning, from a core root issue. And when you can find where a core root issue has been disrupted, you can heal that area because you can see that it happened in the past. And you can see why that happened. And you can see that you're not that person today. So that's huge, you know, because a lot of what we're carrying when it comes to worth and value and disconnection from self and a misunderstanding of love is from our childhood, right? From belief systems that were created out of an experience that we never processed. So that's the reality of that. But peeling back layers, doing the shadow work or doing inner work is everything. This is where we learn about who we are today and let go of past experiences. And when you let go of that past experience, it's like doing yoga. You know what I mean? It's very difficult in the beginning, but the more you do it, the more your body opens up. So the more energy can flow through you. And this energy that you're cultivating when you're processing emotional traumas or you're, you know, just beginning this journey within, it's love. That's self-love, to be able to go into these areas. And I think it's highly undervalued because people don't understand the results. And they don't understand the results because they've not done any of the work. So I think, you know, people will read a book or be inspired by a video or hear somebody speak away, and they'll be attracted to an idea of what processing emotional traumas or doing the shadow work or going on a journey within looks like. But very quickly, humans can become very complacent within the conveniences of their life, such as these tools, which makes doing any of the work very difficult because humans do not like to become uncomfortable. And they certainly do not like to feel uncomfortable feelings due to an experience. So therefore, they're more willing to carry the discomfort of the energy created by the feelings for quite some time, which breaks them down and has them have a desire to be entertained or to feel anything other than those feelings. And you can use food, you know, to do this. A lot of people use food. That's a big one. Consume high sugar, high fats. It becomes highly addictive because of what's put into that food, and therefore you can distract in that manner. You know, we also can use shopping. Some people just feel the need to be distracted inside of stores, buying things that they feel other people will accept them for if they're wearing these kind of items. Therefore, they can distract from having to do any of the work within and actually understanding why they need to be accepted by anyone in the external world anyways, because it's easier to try and be accepted by others than to accept yourself. These are realities, and this is the beauty of inner work. It's you set yourself free. You know, it's a wonderful journey of self-discovery. And yeah, it's not easy. It's certainly not easy to accept yourself and become accountable for experiences that have taken place in your life and face difficult, uncomfortable emotions that happened, you know, possibly because your mother was controlling, or maybe your father left, or maybe you were never loved, or maybe you were never hugged. You know, there's many reasons why people avoid and they've become disconnected from themselves, and they just bury it, you know? There's all different kinds of experiences, but those experiences can set us free. They actually happen for us, but it's very difficult to see how trauma can be an asset in one's life. But that's just because we've avoided it, and the community that you have around you doesn't have a language of how to communicate about it. I have done this work within my own life. I am my greatest project. Last 10 months, I've turned all of my attention inward. And I've been on this journey for almost 5 years of self-discovery, of human awareness, of an understanding of self, of a connection back to love. And it's been the most beautiful thing I've ever been a part of. And it's interesting because it's just me and myself that are a part of that. And certainly I'm, you know, out here with my cat today, and I have my wife, many people know that. And I'm on that journey with them as well. But I'm on the journey with myself first. And I'm myself within the experience with them. It's not codependency with things around me. It's dependent and independent within myself, because that's self-love, that's self-care. If I don't love myself, how am I going to love my cat? If I don't love myself, how am I going to love my wife? Because if I find it acceptable to avoid things in my life that will require me to demand their love, then I'm going to be using and consuming what they have all the time. And it becomes very difficult for them having to try and build up an energy to give to me all the time. And many people do that in relationships. They curate this codependency because it's very difficult for them to go within. And you know what? That's okay too. It's okay, because for some reason this way of life has become so normal. And it's become normal to do this because we are disconnected from each other and we are disconnected from ourselves. And that's okay too, because this is how we become aware and accountable, and we accept where we're at in the present moment. And many of us have made choices along the way that we're not proud of our consequences, that have brought us to this point in time where we feel we're a failure, or we feel our dreams never came true. And now at 30, 40, some kids even 25, they feel that it's too far out of reach. Man, I was 36 when I got out of jail homeless. I had nothing. I had nothing almost 4 years ago. And the only thing that mattered to me was love. I became a student of love, and I wanted to learn about myself. And that was the decision I made in jail. I did surrender my life to love in that jail cell because I wanted to learn how to love myself. So that was my main focus in this life. And I didn't know what that meant. I didn't know who I was. I just decided to walk away from a 23-year drug addiction. You can walk away from whatever weight you've been carrying for quite some time as well. Because that's what I did. I walked away from the weight. But I didn't just walk away from it. I looked at it. I looked at all the past experiences that I had been carrying for so long and using drugs to disconnect and distract myself from. And I accepted it. I accepted that I'd made all those difficult choices that hurt some people, that had resulted me very difficult consequences for me to finally accept and be accountable for. Because I didn't have the tools and education to learn how to love myself. And to be honest with you, nobody taught my parents that. And let's be real, the education system definitely isn't teaching self-love and self-care. But that's okay as well. Because a lot of people can turn that conversation and start this blame and victim mentality conversation. I didn't do that. I did that for a long time. I blamed the world for why I didn't have the tools and education to learn how to love myself. Because that was easy. And it let me continue my drug use for quite some time. But I didn't grow. And many of us are not growing for the same reason. Because it's easier to blame and become the victim. But when we become stale, life moves very quickly. And the small things in life, like being in a blueberry patch, or on the edge of a forest, or walking with your cat in the forest, she's somewhere over here, don't seem as amazing as they are because we're somewhere else in our mind. We're in the past, or we're worried about the future. But becoming a student of love and learning tools and education and applying them into your life will be the greatest thing that you could ever do for yourself. The reality is I know many people will find great difficulty in this, and therefore they'll give up. And I've accepted that because I can't save anyone. I can't change anyone. All I can do is try and inspire an individual to become motivated and excited about understanding who they are and realizing that difficulty of doing that is going to be the most beautiful thing on their journey that they could ever do for themselves. Because it is. It's tough in the beginning because we make mistakes when we're trying to become honest and we're trying to become authentic. And accountability can be very difficult because it's so much easier to blame. But when you start slowing down in life and you really set boundaries with the individuals you have around you, you begin to take back power in your life. And the power is not control. The power is awareness. And the power of awareness, when applied in one's life, is an incredible state of being to live from because you no longer become reactive. And it's through this understanding of balance in one's life that will really have you see a new place and time for you. And that's something that I put a lot of practice into, is not becoming reactive within a situation, because everything is an opportunity that is trying to teach me about myself. If something Let's say we lost the cat the other night. Lost the cat. And I had an opportunity to just react and become very reactive, or I had an opportunity to remain balanced and see myself in the situation. And I chose 50-50. If I'm being honest and accountable in this moment, which I am, I don't do anything in my life other than to be honest. But I was choked right away. To be honest with you, the friggin' cat, we lost a cat in the city. Like, we're like, what, at night? So I was a little choked. I was like, fuck, you know? And I don't usually swear, but I said that. I was choked. I was like, shit, like, what the, you know what I mean? And then right away in my mind, because I'm disciplined in what I do, and I have created this awareness about myself, my mind just told me, or my higher self, I should say, not my mind. My higher self said, Justin, this is an opportunity. And right away I was like, right. This is an opportunity. Everything is an opportunity to see myself and my place in this life. Like, what do I want to do? You know, do I want to throw all this energy around there and go and blame everything that happened and, you know, and just be angry and create all this negative energy and just sit in this toxic energy, and then I have to just be with myself in that energy and carry that weight? Oh, I did that for so long. But it's really nice to be able to see what that feels like again, you know, and I have the ability to stop that from happening. That's self-awareness, you know, that's reflection. That's a beautiful part of doing inner work, is to be able to stop that, you know, where you can be the creator of your reality. So very quickly I saw what was going on, balanced myself with some breaths, and decided to just find a solution rather than focus on the problem. You know, we grabbed some lights. We found some neighbors that we knew where the cat was. We knocked on some doors because, you know, a couple of people with flashlights in some backyards can often get the police called these days. But no, it was great. It was a wonderful opportunity. We met a bunch of people, and they were very open to let us search wherever we liked, and we found her. So it was all an opportunity. So something like that could have been just drastic to myself, that I had done to myself, but I didn't allow that to happen. So this is inner work. This is the journey. This is what it looks like. And the reason I share about these kind of things is because I do the work within myself. And that's, I think, my greatest asset, is understanding what other people are going through, because I do the work in myself. And a lot of other people that do this same work, they'll use other people's books as a way to try and share about an experience. But unless you've lived it, unless you know it, unless you do it, it's a much different conversation. And this is the place that I speak from. And anyone can teach however they want, and anyone can share about however they want, but this is what I do. You know, this is something that I have become very connected to, is the work. And I can see that others are connected to that as well. I took a break from my podcast for like 4 weeks. We've been traveling and just bouncing around, and so much going on. And you know what? I just thought, I'm burning myself out trying to run a company which has just been doing, you know, all this inner work that I do on myself. It's funny. I took my attention off my companies 10 months ago, and I just put it within myself. Now both of my companies are exploding, and I didn't do anything to them. I just worked on myself more and more. And I just see this like abundance that just flows in. So I've been sitting in that for the last 4 weeks and just cultivating this tool of money, so that I can do something more with it and help more people around the world, because that's what we do with our money. You know, we grow it to be able to share it. So I ask the universe for that, so I can use this mechanism as a way to help other people in their lives, because I don't believe in incurring ones and zeros to be better than someone else, and I don't need more than anybody. And until everybody's on the same place, I don't want to be anywhere that everyone's not at. So I've decided that, you know, we need to begin to build a community that will shape the new earth, and I give my life for that, to be a part of this new earth awakening that's happening, in this evolution in consciousness, man. I'll tell you, like, if you're focused on retirement and you believe that, you know, that's the destination, It's a lonely place. I meet a lot of people that are retired and they still never did the work to find out who they are, so they're still trying to run around and do things and figure out who that is, and they never really got to understand their partner ever. So now there's a whole bunch of conflict within that. Not in all cases, but I'll tell you, majority. There's a lot of that going on. So this inner work will set you free in all areas of your life, no matter where you are at in life. And the new earth that I speak of is just a community. It's a community of individuals where money doesn't exist anymore, because money is just a tool of control and it dictates worth and value. And as long as we have money, and as long as we believe that the accumulation of money is going to set us free, we're going to be continuing to play this game that is being overruled by individuals that have unmeasurable wealth, because it's just been that way for quite some time. So, life right now seems so difficult because we're in the end of something. This is what the end of an era looks like. It's great difficulty when the age of fear comes to an end and love finally has its day again. So it's not the first time this has happened within our species, but this one's a pretty magical one, because the evolution of consciousness from a 3-dimensional perspective to a 5th, 6th, 7th dimensional perspective is going to be very, very beautiful. And I'm trying to put this into words, like, to have people understand this. Like, you're just so much more. You're a highly evolved spiritual being. Spirituality is not religion. It's love. It's so much more. Love is the most powerful thing on the planet. It's the most powerful thing in the universe. That energy curated is the most powerful thing in the universe. Understanding that you have that power, that you're created of that power, and how to cultivate it and tap into it and use it, is the work that all of us have come here to do. We've just been manipulated by entertainment and this idea that we need to incur wealth in order to survive. That was just a tool of manipulation to distract us from who we actually are. So everything that I talk about brings us back together. First, it brings us within ourselves, and then once you find yourself within that, you can see your place with your brothers and sisters. Because, whether you're black, white, Asian, Australian, Japanese, we're all the same. Everyone's the same. It doesn't matter what religion you practice or whatever. Everyone is the same. Everything that matters is found within. And it's that journey within that will have you connect to that source of love that'll really bring an awareness to what's actually going on this planet. And you'll be able to see you live in truth. Like the light is the truth. Love, light, and truth, right? Connect back to the love. You will come into the light. You will live in the truth. It's a beautiful thing. It's the fountain of youth. For those of you who are looking to become younger in your life, it is the fountain of youth to be able to become honest and authentic, because that's all I did. And if I think I might have got my prison photo. I've been waiting for this Freedom of Information Act for like 7 months, 8 months, because anything the government does takes forever. Right. But I got an email last night, which I don't check, but I should, because it was from them finally. And I think I got my prison photo. So I'll be able to show you what living in the darkness looks like. And then obviously what living in the light looks like. And that just means that I honor the body that I have today. I honor the light that I have within. And I use practices to be able to connect more into that. And to me, this vessel is just a vessel. But it's a container that holds the light. So it's very important for me to take care of that container because of the light within. Because I can do things using this vessel, using this container to help other people around me. So that's why it's important to me to take care of that, and in some way, shape, or form, going and reducing the age is a very powerful and wonderful tool to have, because it means I'll have more time on this planet to be able to do more wonderful things. So I appreciate y'all for listening to my stuff, and forgive me for taking time. But this is what you do, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to be relevant all the time. I'm not trying to do what everyone else does. Like, oh, you got to do 2-3 episodes a week if you want to be seen, if you want to be heard. You know what? I'm in the world every day. being seen and being heard. Anyone who meets me, I share love and energy with them. So I find so much value just connecting with humans in the real world. That's what I've been doing for 4 weeks. And I just see the power within it. I've always known the power in it, but because I've become my greatest project 10 months ago, it's incredible what you can share with other people. You know, you can bring an awareness to what they're feeling in their life and share a perspective with them and have them tap into this remembrance of love within themselves. And that's what I do. So I feel like that's my calling, is to be with the people. And I love doing this. I love the lives for sure. I love putting myself out there, but you know, being up for hours trying to do my social media stuff and just pump this stuff out, nah man, you find me in the world, and I'm growing. I'm getting booked and fly around, and people are listening to the things that I'm talking about. And it's because I do the work. It's because I have the results of my own experiences to speak from. I don't need to talk about anything that anyone else is doing. And we all have a story. And your progress within the journey to understand your story and how it happened for you can benefit your brothers and sisters around you, because everyone's trauma is relevant. Everyone's trauma has purpose, because there's education within it that you can share with your brothers and sisters. And I don't want you to ever forget that. So anything that you're going through in this life, anything that you've gone through, just tap into the honesty, become accountable, accept what has happened, process the feelings, you know, by learning the education that happened through the experience, and share that with your brothers and sisters around you. I really appreciate everyone coming back to this planet at this time. It's difficult right now, but we came here to evolve. We came here to ascend consciousness. I mean, that is incredible. Like, think of that. We're all a part of that. Never mind being a part of the matrix and this systematic way of life, spending money, shopping, consuming, you know what I mean? That's just manipulation. We are highly evolved spiritual beings. We've come here to ascend consciousness. We've got to do this together. So when you step out in the world, see the people around you as your brothers and sisters, man. It doesn't matter what color they are. It doesn't matter what they, you know, where their practices are for religion. Look beyond that. Look in the eyes. Look in the soul. That's the light. That's a part of you. We're all a part of each other. And we need that light to connect back to each other in order to evolve. Because the evolution is going to be a beautiful thing. And one way or another, it's happening. There's coyotes. I'm going to show you. I don't know how to show you. There's coyotes up there. There's 2 coyotes. Cool. I don't know if you can see that. But I'm going to go watch that. I should probably... Oh, fuck. My cat just went under a concrete block. I'll go find my cat. Much love. Check the podcast out. Real Talk for an Unreal World. It's on YouTube. It's on Spotify. It's on iTunes. All podcast platforms. Talk about it. Share it. Do the work. You know what I mean? If you got things going on in your life, hit me up. Reach out to me, and I'll help you however I can. Much love. Enjoy your day.